What is up, guys? Welcome to the official first episode of the Executive Edge podcast, where we talk about content, branding, AI, and systems all in one spot. And so today what I really wanted to do is talk about why I'm doing this and talk about the segments that you're going to see in the podcast that can bring you value. And so I realized over the last 18 months that content is the name of the game as far as being able to establish yourself as somebody completely different than everybody else. And what I mean by that is I've always preached content. I've had an agency for the last 6 years that's developed content. But the more and more content I create and the more and more content I'm a part of, I realize that when it comes to long form content like this is the content that's really going to separate you from other people versus the short form content. Because at the end of the day, anybody can create a 15-second video, a 30-second video, or even a 60-second video. But if you get onto a podcast and you create these 3-minute, 5-minute, 10-minute, even 30-minute segments, over time, people will really understand that you know what you're doing. And so that's really why I wanted to create it. A little bit about me. I have a marketing, creative, and consulting firm called FR2 Enterprises, where we focus on content that makes an impact. I've been doing it for the last 6 years. We work with organizations that are in the growth phase all the way up to companies doing multi-9 figures in revenue. The other side that we focus on is executives with established companies who really just want to promote their personal brand. And so we really do the same thing for both of these avatars, but the focus is really content, branding, AI, and systems in order to utilize the content to effectively be able to grow your business. I think one of the things that a lot of people miss the ball on when it comes to content creation and getting videos made and getting pictures taken is people focus so much on the vehicle, they don't focus on the end goal. So they have a really nice video or they have really nice pictures, but they don't focus on how that's going to drive business results. And so for the last 6 years, that's really what I've been focused on. And so the reason I'm doing this podcast is because I want to bring people value off of the last 6 years. I feel like I've done enough to be able to really talk about what's going on in the market, things to help you. And I'm not necessarily just talking about it, right? Because a lot of people, especially in marketing for some reason, they feel like that if they talk about it, that they are an expert. Well, everything that I'm going to talk to you about on this podcast is something that I'm either currently implementing or I've implemented in the past that's still successful to this day. I'm not going to talk about tactics that worked 6 years ago that won't work now, like hashtags or anything like that. But we're going to focus on tactical things that you can implement today as soon as the episode is over. That way, from there, you can really grow your business with me, my team's help, or without us. Either way, I want this podcast to be filled with value to help you take that next step. And so there are a couple of segments that you'll see on here regularly. The first one will be an AI tutorial. What I'm going to do on that is I utilize a lot of AI tools. And so I think sometimes what happens is you have to go to multiple places to learn about them. I'm going to talk about every AI tool I use, and then I'm going to talk about how you can benefit from it. That way you can get an overview of the apps out there and which ones can apply to your business. The next segment is going to be what's going on in the market, and I'm going to call it thinking out loud. As an entrepreneur, I always have to focus on what's going on in the market to really make sure I'm staying up to date. I'm going to be bringing those insights to you guys. That way you can stay up to date with new marketing things that can help you grow your business. The next one will be a focus on really how to implement all of this stuff. I think a lot of times people can say the same things over. They can say content, they can say offers, they can say lead magnets, right? But one, they actually haven't done it. And two, they can't show you how to implement it. And so we're going to really be tactical in implementing those things. That way it's not a lot of fluff or not a lot of evergreen things that anybody can say. I'm going to take my experience and help you apply it into your business. That way, like I said, as soon as the episode is over, you'll be able to implement it and scale. And the last one is going to be focused on interviews, right? And so I've been blessed to work with a lot of high-level entrepreneurs, CEOs, and executives. And so I want to be able to tell their story about how they got to where they're at, and then ultimately how they use marketing and content and AI to scale whatever they're doing. So that's really a breakdown of what each of the segments is going to have. That's really a breakdown of why I feel like this is the time to do it. But one thing that I'd like to ask you is that if you think that this is going to be beneficial to more than just you, share this episode to people, post it on your social media, because at the end of the day, my ultimate goal is that this can save you lots of time and lots of money while also helping you achieve your business results. So looking forward to the podcast. As always, if you ever want to connect with me on social media, it's FRHeart2, and I look forward to bringing value through this channel, and I look forward to helping you make content that makes an impact. Have a great day, and God bless.